Another trip to Wicks. One of the beauties about already having a camper van is that you have the space to stow 8x4 foot boards. So it's getting cold out there, the nights are drawing in, Christmas is just round the corner, and there are climate change protests going on all over the place, but here I am barreling back over in the Florida to sneak a morning's work on Walt. I've got a bunch more stuff from Wicks, as you can see. Doing my best to buy everything second hand, like loft boards, but actually 25mm loft board was quite hard to come by, so I've got one sheet of that for the floor. Done so much humming and ahhing about what to do about the lining. I'm using ply, but I've gone for 5.5mm in the end, and I think I'm going to paint what's exposed, so stuff in the cupboards, and well, actually that's probably it, because everything else that's exposed will be covered in padded suede trim where the beds are, and the rest will be hidden. I guess the ceiling still needs to be considered, but the shower, for example, is going to be clad in Formica, so you won't see the wood. It'll keep the weight down, so 5.5mm will be the thickest, plus 3.6mm for the suede trim. So yeah, nice to get past that thought process, or feel like I'm getting past that thought process. I need to fit the seat base in today as well, or at least take it in and have a look in place, figure out what size alley mounts I need to mount the water tank underneath it. All fun and games. So just test fitting the Snorkel. I've got it here. Got some flexible ducting, 80mm, which is the right width for the ducting aperture at the bottom there. Also got a sample 35 quid Cyclone pre-filter, but it's actually slightly wide. It's 3.5 inches, whereas the mount is about 3 inches. Well, it's just a bit over 3 inches, 80mm. So, might need to order a new sample Cyclone. I'm just going to move the current air intake, which sits rather precariously behind or beside the headlight for some reason. Doesn't seem to be mounted particularly well, other than being shoved in there, which is extraordinary. Hopefully come out and then fit into the end of the Snorkel. There we go. So I've got my lovely aluminium profile, thanks to my brother-in-law Neil, all cut to the measurements that I gave him, ready to build the rear bed and the kitchen unit. It's good stuff actually. This is about the same weight as 2x2, but much easier to work with, and you can slot these bolts in through the channel and then bolt into them, so you get a much more structural support than I could do with wood. Just show you progress inside. Oh, I'll turn the light on, hold on a second. Oh, it's a bit better. So yes, not a huge update over Christmas. The last job I did before I broke for the holidays was get the floor down. It's not actually glued yet, but I wanted to lay it down so I could figure out what other services I need to run before I put ply down over the top. And I'm also going to lay across these middle rafters, 1, 2, 3, a like a special heating tile. It's like semi-concrete, semi-fibre, and I'm going to have a mat on top of it, a rubberized mat, which I'll tell you more about, which will be 24 volt operated, running off an inverter from the battery bank. I just always fancied underfloor heating. It's supposed to be able to heat a small space on its own without other heat sources, but I think in this case it's actually just going to be to get our feet toasty. I've always thought that the floor in the Florida isn't warm enough underfoot, so I want to do a better job. What else? Oh, I've had a bit of a tidy. My batteries have arrived. I've got a storage space here now for more bits as they come in, because I need to start ordering this year. Just cut the metal for the inside supports for the roof rack. I need to drill holes and weld that all together. I hope that's going to be sufficient. I haven't actually put it in to size it up yet to see if it fits. Been playing around with the Snorkel. This is our aftermarket part that we got fabricated, part of a group buy project that I've been involved with. It's a lovely bit of moulded HDPE. Goes through the grill. Need to drill a hole in the grill to accept it. One of the things that I've got to do first is fabricate brackets. So I knocked up some a wooden template, sorry, not wooden, cardboard template yesterday, and I've just about got the pieces I need to weld together. I'm gonna just cut a second set before I do that, because I want to offer these up for sale for the rest of the guys who bought Snorkels who might need a bracket. So yeah, I'm pleased that that was quite an easy job. Welding thin steel isn't a problem for me, so I just need to drill the holes, well, cut another set, drill the holes, paint it, weld it, sorry, other way around, weld it, paint it, and then mount it. I'm going to mount it using riv nuts, so it'll be removable. The only other problem is that at the bottom, obviously the hose has got to be attached to the air intake, which is in here. If you can see it, there's a black tube down there. That's where this came from, and this goes into the back of the snorkel, and that's it. It needs to be more waterproof than that pipe, obviously, because the whole point is that in theory you should be able to afford rivers. Oh yeah, I did get a cyclone, but it's too big. It's a 3.5 inch, so I'm going to try another sample and go from there, find one that'll work for others as well. Seat's nearly down, the double rear seat, that's all bolted through. I've actually just got to get new bolts. Some of the threads, well, some of the bolts weren't threaded all the way down. I've then got to run, this is flexible mains cable that you're supposed to use in campervans for charging stations, things like that. So I've got to run some of that from this side, which is where the battery bank's going to be, to that side where there'll be a charging point, and then from this side down to the side of the bed at the back here for another charging point. And then underneath there's hot and cold water pipe, and again the tank will be under there, the pump will be under there, the water heater, the chlorophyll, will be here. So I need to run pipes from here down this side, because this is where the kitchen and the sink are going to, the sink in the kitchen is going to be, and then down the other side, under, probably under the floor on that side, to the where the shower will be on this side. Just finishing off the lining. Yeah, so that's, I'll crack on with that now. Hopefully put a full day in tomorrow as well.